Imagine this. You and a close family member have so much wealth that you literally can't live in the same area anymore. Your flocks are enormous, your servants are many, and the land simply can't sustain both of you. What would you do? Would you fight for the best portion? Or would you step back and trust that God already has a plan for you? This was the exact situation Abraham and Lot found themselves in. But what happened next? A choice was made that changed history forever. One man chose based on what looked good, and the other chose to trust in God's promise. Stay with me as we uncover the powerful story of Abraham inheriting Canaan, a story about faith, humility, and a divine promise that still echoes through history. Hey there, welcome to Dramatized Bible, the place where Bible stories come to life through immersive storytelling. In our last episode, we saw God's covenant with Abraham, a sacred promise that he would become the father of many nations. But today, we'll see the first steps of that promise unfolding as Abraham and Lot stand at a crossroads. A single decision would set them on very different paths, one leading to blessing, the other to destruction. If you love deep, faith-building Bible stories, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Now, let's get into today's story. God had called Abraham, then known as Abram, to leave his homeland and go to a land that he would show him. That land was Canaan. It was a step of faith, leaving everything familiar behind and venturing into the unknown. But Abraham obeyed, trusting that God's promise was sure. By this time, Abraham wasn't traveling alone. His nephew Lot, the son of his late brother Haran, had come with him. They had journeyed together for years, through hardships and blessings, through Egypt and back. Now, they had returned to the land God had promised. The Bible tells us in Genesis 13:2, Abram was very rich in livestock, in silver, and in gold. It wasn't just Abraham who had prospered. Lot, too, had gained wealth. Their flocks had multiplied beyond measure. Their herds had grown vast, and their tents were filled with abundance. But this success brought an unexpected problem. The land could no longer support both Abraham and Lot living side by side. Their servants began to clash, quarreling over grazing land and water sources. Every day, the tension grew. The peaceful journey they had once shared was now clouded by disputes and division. Abraham saw the growing conflict and knew something had to be done. He could have used his authority as the elder and the one chosen by God to claim the best land for himself. But instead, he chose the path of peace. He approached Lot and spoke words that revealed his character. "Please let there be no strife between you and me. Is not the whole land before you? Please separate from me. If you take the left, then I will go to the right, or if you go to the right, then I will go to the left." It was a moment of incredible humility. Abraham was the one whom God had made the promise to. Yet, he let Lot choose first. He didn't cling to his right, nor did he fight for what looked best. He trusted that no matter what, God would provide. Lot looked up, and before him stretched the lush green plains of Jordan. The land was fertile, well-watered, and full of promise. To his eyes, it was paradise. Genesis 13:10-11 tells us that Lot lifted his eyes and saw that the land was well-watered everywhere, like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt. Then Lot chose for himself all the plain of Jordan, and he journeyed east. Lot saw what looked like the best choice, and took it without hesitation. But he never considered what lay beyond the surface. What Lot didn't realize was that he was moving toward a place that would ultimately bring his downfall. The land may have looked perfect, but it was home to the city of Sodom, a city so wicked that its very name would become synonymous with corruption and sin. Genesis 13:13 gives us a chilling warning. But the men of Sodom were exceedingly wicked and sinful against the Lord. Lot unknowingly chose comfort over calling, luxury over legacy, and prosperity over protection. As Lot departed, Abraham remained in Canaan, the land God had promised. It might not have looked as beautiful, as green, or as full of abundance, but it was where God's hand was moving. Then, something incredible happened. Right after Lot left, God spoke again to Abraham. It was as if he was waiting for Lot to be removed before giving Abraham the full revelation of what was to come.
Lift your eyes now and look from the place where you are, northward, southward, eastward, and westward. For all the land which you see I give to you and your descendants forever.
God reaffirmed the covenant. The land was not just for Abraham, it was for his descendants, forever. And then God made an even greater promise.
I will make your descendants as the dust of the earth, so that if a man could number the dust of the earth, then your descendants also could be numbered.
This wasn't just about land. This was about legacy. Through Abraham, a nation would be born. Through that nation, the Messiah would come. This was bigger than anything Abraham could have imagined. Lot moved to Sodom, and his life took a tragic turn. He lost his home, his wealth, and eventually, his wife. But Abraham remained in Canaan and continued walking in faith, eventually receiving the ultimate fulfillment of God's promise, the birth of Isaac. This story is a powerful reminder that choosing based on appearance can be dangerous, but trusting in God's plan always leads to the best outcome. Abraham's story teaches us that humility leads to blessing. He could have demanded the best land, but he let Lot choose first. And in the end, God ensured that Abraham received the true blessing. It also warns us that appearances can be deceiving. Lot chose what looked better, but it led him into danger. Sometimes, what looks good isn't what's best. And above all, it proves that God's promises never fail. Even though Abraham let Lot choose first, God had already secured Canaan for him. When God makes a promise, nothing can stop it from coming true. Did you know that Canaan is one of the most frequently mentioned places in the Bible? It appears over 150 times. It became the land of Israel, fulfilling God's promise to Abraham. Even today, its history is deeply connected to the Bible's biggest events. If you were in Abraham's position, would you have let Lot choose first? Or would you have taken the best land for yourself? Drop your answer in the comments. I'd love to hear what you would have done. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more powerful Bible stories. And if you love Christian music, check out our music channel, Eternal Grace Music, where we share beautiful worship songs to strengthen your faith. Thanks for watching, and remember, God's plan is always greater than ours. See you in the next video.